Good evening, world of YouTube. This is like the 6th video. I'm just not having much luck tonight. Let's see if we can actually get through this. And this lighting is very bad. I'm looking better. Now it's adjusted. Still kind of very pale on this side. I'm a mess. It's late at night. Taking a shower. Just don't look good. Don't care. This video is important to me. It's going to be a long video. Sorry, it's going to be, it might piss people off. I don't care. Tonight I'm going to be talking to you about the home health field. I am qualified. I have a grandmother who has Alzheimer's. We've had people from home health. But I've also worked in the home health field. I have training. My mother was a registered nurse. My sisters worked in this. I mean, she hasn't worked directly in the home health field, but she has had some training. So, she works in hospitals, but she's doing more computer stuff because she's like a computer genius, even though she hates computers. I find it kind of funny. Anyways, back to it. Now, there we go, that's much better. There are a few things. Home health field usually tends to be an overworked, underpaid job, though. Come to find out, in some states, you get paid pretty damn good for it. There will be always some, usually with it being an overworked and underpaid field, it means that the people will want to do the job. They will be doing the job because they want to take care of people. And it's a very important job, keeping people in their home so they can live the end of their life out someplace where they are comfortable and happy instead of being in a nursing home. I mean, that can be, absolute killer to some people, even especially if they have Alzheimer's. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't do the best they can, but a lot of patients with Alzheimer's, they need direct one-on-one care. And unfortunately, when you're working in a facility, you can't give the one-on-one care. Some places can, and if they can, that's excellent. I'm not dissing any places like that. That's not what I'm complaining about. What I'm complaining about is some people who work in the home health field. So here's my tips. If you're going to be working in the home health field, there are a few things. I actually trained people because I was that good at my job, and I only worked for the company for a short, I made it to a year. Unfortunately, I had to leave because I'm pursuing this other passion. It's not, there is money, but there are other things that's going on that what I'm doing, and I find it very important and everything. Sorry, my hair is bothering me because it's crazy because it's dry. Hinge on where I am. It's dry. Pardon me, throat's dry. Okay, much better. So, here's some tips if you're going to be working in this field. I trained people, and some people wouldn't pass. I trained everybody. I didn't have any problems and everything, and yes, what I was working in, I will miss every single one of my patients. They were amazing, and I would think about them often. They were great. You grow to love these people, though. You do keep your distance. You don't go, crazy. You have to keep it professional. You can still care about people and be professional. Here are some tips I want to tell you if you're going to be in this field. First tip, which is very basic and everybody should know. You should leave the place that you're working in better than what it looks like to begin with. Or at the very least, the exact same. You don't leave dishes lying around and sink. And yes, you can have a rough time. You will have shitty days, and I'm talking literally shitty days. You will be dealing possibly with shit. It happens. But, you don't leave crap lying around. It's not that hard, especially if you're in one place. I had several patients. On some days, I would have several patients, and I would go from their home to home to home, and there were days that I was busting my ass. I worked hard, and I worked fast. And I got that place looking awesome, and, you're able to take care of the patient. You can do everything. You may have to work faster in some places, but you can get them taken care of. I mean, you just got to develop a routine. And a lot of places you can develop a routine. It's easy. I had one for every single house. I could tell you right now, I could sit down and tell you what I did at those patients' houses on what day. Pardon me. So, cleaning up, taking care of the person, it's not that hard. Making sure the place looks nicer. Here's another thing. It's part of being compassionate and everything. And it's also part of, violations. As in, how we can't disclose patients' names, locations, HIPAA violations. We can't do that. Don't do HIPAA violations. What we need to do, that's part of it, everything, but your personal life. I should not know somebody's personal story for the most. And I mean, I'm not saying you can't tell a little bit here and there. I mean, my patients knew that I had crazy cats. That's what we talk about. We talk about my crazy cats. I got crazy cats. Oh, how are your kitties? Oh, they're crazy cats. And everything, and they giggle. And it happens. And, it worked out well. Sorry, heard a noise. A little paranoid. Don't have my gun. Anyways, new location. Getting used to it. Hot. So, back to what I was saying. These people have worked almost all their lives. And some of them have probably had hard lives, especially if they have something like Alzheimer's. They don't need to hear your life story. They don't need to know every single little detail about you. You don't need to talk about some such and such that happened when you're a kid or being beaten or anything like that. If you're having a bad day, you don't need to go to your patients and cry. You got to be professional. These people don't need your life story. They have their own life stories. They have their own aches and pains. They have this and that. I mean, I'm not saying that these people don't care about you. They care about you a lot. They will come to depend on you, and you will grow special relationships with a lot of these people. But they don't need to hear oh, my back hurts today, and my feet hurt, and I'm just gonna blah, blah, blah. Their back hurts too. Want to know why? These people probably have arthritis, maybe rheumatoid arthritis. They might have osteoporosis. They might have spinal stenosis. They've busted it. They worked their life. They've had their issues. They've had their problems. They have things. They might not have kids that come and take care of them. They have their issues. You're there to listen to them. You're there to comfort them. You're there to help take care of them. You're there. And I mean, when you're working with Alzheimer's patients, I mean, it's a little difficult because, okay, when you know their story, their life story with what they grew up with, kind of like how I know my grandmother's life because she's my grandmother, it's a little more difficult, but I mean, that's just still, I can handle it because it's being professional. You just have to understand it's a disease and you don't take things personally. Like when my grandma would be like, oh, if you see my family, tell them I said hi. I haven't seen them forever. And I'd sit there and I'd put my hand in front of my face and I'd go, hi, Lyndall, how's it going? And everything. I'd be like, oh, so you haven't seen your family forever. Well, what am I? Chopped liver? Fine, this chopped liver is just gonna go get you a fresh cup of coffee and to make her giggle and laugh and everything. She'd be like, well, I didn't mean you. I see how you are. You can't take it personally when it is you. And I mean, it is a trying thing. And that's something that somebody needs to understand if you're working in this field. Not are you only taking care of that person, but you're helping out that family. Because sometimes these families, they're there, they need a break. Or that person's spouse. If they're at an end-of-life stage, you need to encourage that spouse, because when you're taking care of somebody that is requiring almost 24-hour care, you're not only providing palliative care, but you're providing support for the family because they are exhausted because they have been working 24/7. I'm quite sure with this person. You don't stop working with them. It's a nonstop job. There is no breaks. There is no relaxation. You keep going. I mean, for those of you who've been in this field, you will understand that. They know. If you've had family and been through this, you understand. It doesn't stop. You keep going and everything. You're there to make them comfortable. But working in this field, you are there to help the family. You're there to make sure that they can get out, that they can go grocery shopping. Because going grocery shopping or going any place is near impossible. It's hard to get out. It's hard to do things and everything. And so you're there to be able to make sure that the family can relax. So they can maybe do homework. So they can, do this or that. They don't need you sitting there going blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. They need you there leaving a big mess and everything. And do your job. It's not that hard and everything. If you're with a patient all day, you're working like, say, a 12-hour shift, something like that, which is good. You're in one place for 12 hours. You're not going from place to place, because when you're going from place to place, you only get paid at that place. You don't get paid jumping from place to place. So that means you get a straight paycheck, which is good and everything. You don't get paid mileage, but you're not driving all over the place, so it's nice. You'll get paid mileage if you travel to the grocery store, run errands or something as such. In some places you can do that, and some places you can't leave. But anyways, I digress. Sorry this is jumbled. I'm a little bit of a jumbled person at times. Do your job. If you're there for, like I said, 12 hours, so you're there day to evening, make sure they get breakfast. The family might have already got them breakfast. They will more than likely let you know. Make sure they get breakfast. Make sure they get lunch. Make sure they get dinner. Make sure they're cleaned up and ready for bed. Make sure the bed's made. Make sure that, if you fed them, you put dishes away. I mean, it's ridiculous. You are getting paid for a service. You should do that. I mean, they wouldn't make it past orientation if they talked about their life story. They left the place dirtier than it was. I'm sorry. And everything. And every place is special and everything's different how you do things. I had certain ways I cleaned, certain ways I folded clothes, certain ways I washed and took care of patients in every place. Every place was different. Everybody had a different routine. Everybody had something different. I memorized it. I did it and everything. And I enjoyed it. Because I knew that I was making these people's lives easier. When I unfortunately informed my company I was leaving, here's what I got. Can you clone yourself? And I was like, sure, that sounds good. I'll send the clone where I'm going and I'll stay here where I'm home. Anyways, but I digress. It's not that hard to do your job if you're going to be in home health. That's all I want. If you want to do this job and everything, and it would be best that you have medical training. A lot of companies don't require it. They won't send you any place that's not necessary. But for fuck's sake, do your job. And that is my rant of the evening, brought to you by Newcastle. That's my age, over 21. How old over 21? Anyways, y'all have a good night, and I will post more about moving tomorrow.